before. Hey, nerds! Welcome to our first ever Nerd Smash podcast, the podcast where a lovely group of functional alcoholics indulge in some libations and talk about nerdy stuff. First things first, we'll introduce our cast of resident nerds.
I'm dancing, but you can't see it.
That's not his name, though.
How are you?
I'm Katie. I interrupted Steve because fuck that guy.
What a dork.
Kind of a jack of all trades nerd. I dabble in a little bit of everything. It's when someone else talks.
I'll do it. Hey, I'm Steve. I'm kind of a video game and I guess RPG nerd because just fucking loser. My specialty.
Getting a little dark in here.
Just a fucking loser. I guess my specialties would be Halo and Sanic because I'm that guy.
Guys. All right, I'm Brian. I'm another video game nerd and also an resident weeb trash.
Fucking garbage.
And also lore. Doesn't matter what series, I love lore.
Right on.
Dork historian.
Oh yeah, me too. I'm hard for lore.
I agree.
Boom. And I'm Cam, and I'm just a nerd. I like computers, and I like games, and I like gaming, and I like nerd stuff. That's what I do. Boom. I like Jack Daniels.
And Jack Daniels is pretty great.
I would also like to thank Crown Royal for getting me drunk. They can feel free to sponsor us at any time and send the alcohol to my home.
I'll take that deal, because I got this North of 7 gin. Like Ottawa's distillery.
Boom.
And I would like to also thank Dr. McGillicuddy and Mad Jack for letting me smashed. So.
I would also like to thank my dear friend Brandon Macmillan, who did our logo. Without him, we would be lost. Yeah,
it's true.
He's a talent. Let me just grab. You'll find him.
Makes us look like 300% more professional.
Yeah, no kidding.
All of his work, is it on DeviantArt?
It is. Yeah. Let me just grab the link right here. It's on.
Tell us where we can find it, KD.
It's on Brandon's DeviantArt at. Well, my phone fails to load at chillustration.deviantart.com.
And we'll put that link up when we release this episode.
Yeah, totally. It's linked in our Facebook thing, and we'll link it with everything because Brandon's the man.
He's the man.
Shotgun not putting links up.
Yeah, that's fine.
Right on. So on tonight's menu, I think the consensus was sort of talking E3 and then see where the discussion takes us.
You are correct, Cameron.
We'll call him A.
Oh, I love it.
We'll call him
Let's
B.
do it.
As some of you may know, the Electronic Entertainment Expo, or E3 for short, has recently...
Because there are 3 E's.
And by recently, I mean probably is still going on right now, although the press coverage of it stopped as of yesterday.
Doesn't mean the cocaine ends.
It's LA, the cocaine never ends.
Truth.
Accurate.
And yeah, as with every year, a lot of gaming news came out of it. A lot of announcements were made. A lot of announcements that everyone knew were coming were made. So I don't really know how they qualify as news, but we'll still cover them as if they were.
Well, see, we have the beautiful thing called opinion and insight. So while everyone can go read the news, they can't read our brains yet. So we can... hopefully they care, and then they'll listen to this. You know what I mean?
Weird thoughts up there.
I hope they never manage to do that. Otherwise, I'm going to get
dark thoughts.
I'm probably already on a list. I don't need any more.
You know that episode of SpongeBob where it shows Patrick's thought bubble and it's just a carton of milk spilling? That's what's in my head.
I love it.
Wrapped inside of a mystery.
Is mayonnaise an instrument?
The inner machinations of my mind are an enigma.
As I described it to one of my friends once in high school, reading my brain would be very confusing because you get a very detailed thought process and basically essay on how
Shit that does not exist.
No, not even that. On how things like the 7 Years' War would influence French colonialism for the next 100 years. And then just a series of explosions over the 1812 orchestra.
Well, I mean, one day I would like to learn about that, for sure. But right now, if I may, it'd be sweet if we could draw things back towards the gaming. And if everyone's cool with it, I'd love to kick us off.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
So one of my other favorite passions, aside from nerd stuff, is cars and everything automotive. And as a result, the announcement of Forza 7 was something that I was super stoked about. Forza 6 was really, really fun to play. Forza 5, also really fun to play. And the biggest jump from those two games was just the realism of the physics and the simulation part of the driving. So Forza 7, I'm really hoping we'll be able to like up it even more to a new level of realism, especially because with the announcement of the Xbox One X, hopefully the hardware will be updated to the point where things are a little more capable than the current model. You know what I mean?
Higher fidelity.
Indeed.
Processing power.
I would like to take this moment to completely agree with Cameron. As much as I dislike the Xbox One, and many people will tell you that I have gone on into rants on why I dislike the Xbox One, Forza has been a very solid franchise even on the Xbox, and it's honestly, if you're a racing car or a racing game fan, probably one of the premier reasons to get an Xbox One, because it's a great series. From everything that I've heard, I haven't played all of them, but it's been a great series for years. And I mean, the new one that they announced, Forza 7, looks just fantastic on the Xbox One X.
It does. Like some of these screenshots, I'm actually looking at some right now. Some of them do look photorealistic to the point where it's like, is that a photo or is this in-game graphics? It's pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm impressed.
You have to keep in mind how much of that was actually rendered on an Xbox One S and how much of that is their 8K super high def model that they were doing their promotional photos on.
And
very true, very true.
Full shots are a thing.
That is a very good point. As anyone who knows about the Watch Dogs or Watch_Dogs, my apologies, controversy can tell you.
It's true. Yeah.
When Watch Dogs was announced, for any of you that aren't aware, when Watch Dogs was announced at E3 one year, the graphics that they were using looked amazing. But the issue was that the graphics system that they were using was being run off of an actual Windows running PC instead of the consoles that they claimed it was running off of. So
Correct.
That meant that when it got ported to consoles, the consoles weren't able to support that fidelity of graphics, and they actually had to downgrade everything to make it look not as good.
And it made a lot of people really
the
mad.
PC release.
It's true. That's a part I didn't get. They didn't keep it so that the PC could keep up with the kind of things they were doing in their own studio and releasing to the world as a screenshot, you know?
Well, that's because they wanted to keep it in the same between all versions, so that it didn't, like, if you bought... Because, let's be honest, the video game industry these days is pandering to consoles in a lot of ways.
True.
Even as someone that uses...
That's because they're the only people that'll, start funding... what's the term, like, for auteur projects anymore, because they need the content to bring people into their ecosystems, because a lot of people are running back to PC gaming because now it's user-friendly and just better in every way.
It's user-friendly and it's affordable now. That's the big thing.
Mostly.
Yeah.
The only thing I'm going to disagree with.
Still hefty.
Yeah, it's a huge upfront investment as opposed to buying a console for what, $600 tops with tax maybe?
Yeah.
If you want a really top of the line PC that can knock the doors out of like any console that's not an expression, blow it out of the water or knock the doors off, one of those expressions, take your pick, of any console that exists, you're going to have to dump at least $1,000 into a PC.
That's not necessarily true. I have priced out computers that would be able to run any modern games at about $600 to $900.
All right,
so $900. My bad. I'm drunk.
Be realistic. Every time that you're like, I'm only going to spend this much on a computer, you spend like twice that. I gave myself $1,000 limit on my last computer. I ended up spending $2,500.
I agree.
Okay, that's a little excessive.
I was building a $900 media PC.
Infers a problem with you.
That's also because I have a shopping problem. But
I was building a $900 media PC. It was going to be something that sat in my living room, and I was like, but what if I threw a better graphics card and a better CPU in that? And then
that's how it happens.
Exactly. Yep.
I spent $400 extra. So yeah,
it happens. Yeah.
That's the danger of going PC shopping. Like for clients, when I worked at a computer store. By the way, I used to be a sales guy at a computer store. I would be able to crunch those budgets for people. But the danger is always that even my customers would go like, oh, but what if we threw in like this other one in? And I was like, yeah, that'll give you like way better this.
But it's going
for this much money. Yeah.
For this much money. Like, oh, it's only a couple hundred. Oh, it's only a couple hundred.
That's how it goes, man. And the next thing you know, you're another extra grand in the hole. It's like, shit.
Exactly.
Why is this 3 times as much money as I wanted to spend?
Yeah, exactly. Other stuff from E3 that people are stoked about. Katie, we haven't heard from you in a little bit. What's going on over there?
Like Beyond Good and Evil 2, which no one expected ever.
Oh,
True, yeah.
man. Did you see the way that the guy was like tearing up on stage?
Oh God, I got teary when he got teary. I got teary when he got teary.
That guy has seen shit trying to get get Beyond Good and Evil 2 made.
Oh,
He's seen some shit, man. And some stuff.
He had to do some dark things in the back room.
Oh, why do you think he thanked Eve so much?
Oh yeah.
I just want to thank you.
He's probably got like both of his, like he probably took them off for the showing, but I bet both of his hands are just in like casts most of the time now from all the hand jobs that he's had to give in order to let that game become a thing.
Oh my
He's
God.
got permanent lockjaw now. And
Oh, baby. Wow, this thing is officially not PG. Holy
He's
moly.
got gum poisoning. I found out that's an actual thing.
What, too much of your body is semen after a point?
If you ingest too much semen, apparently it actually makes you sick.
No way.
Well, if you ingest too much anything, it makes you sick.
that would explain why I'm not feeling well.
Oh my God. Oh man. So Good and Evil 2. What else we got going on that's catching your eye over there, Katie?
There's the new Mario game that is kind of very reminiscent of like Mario 64, which is neat.
Yeah.
We haven't seen anything like that.
Speaking of new Mario games, I'm sorry, I'm completely butting in here.
No, that's fine.
Speaking of new Mario games, fucking Mario vs. Rabbids Kingdom Battle looks far better than it has any right being. I just want to say that. So, if any of you didn't see it, basically Mario vs. Rabbids Kingdom Battle is a game where they have mixed the Raving Rabbids from Ubisoft and Mario in a top-down turn-based tactics game, which basically looks like a Mario version of XCOM.
Oh.
And it looks way better than it has any right to be, because it actually looks like fun. It uses the same like XCOM cover system, XCOM movement system. It's basically just XCOM with Mario and Rabbids dressed up as Mario characters. And it actually looks super fun. And to announce it, Ubisoft brought out Shigeru Miyamoto onto their stage, and
Oh my God.
what was one of both the most amusing and cringe-worthy moments, where Yves, the CEO of Ubisoft, just looked like he had no idea how to react to Shigeru Miyamoto-san coming out with a fucking gun arm a la, like, in the vein of Mega Man, but it was like a bullet bill.
Oh, God.
If I had a nickel.
And so that game actually looks far better than it has any right being, and might get me to buy a Switch.
So the Switch, that's a good segue.
Yeah.
That is a good
I've
thing.
never
Actually,
never
gonna
been
have
a
games soon. That'd be
huge,
great.
right? I know. I've never been a huge fan of the newish Nintendo consoles. Like the Wii was kind of cool just because it was the first really motion-y,
Yeah.
like actually move around, and it was cool for that.
And the
I remember
PlayStation
first-
Move was complete garbage. Yeah.
Yes, that was it. Was absolute trash. Sony, are you listening? I love you,
Yeah.
but come on.
Sony.
Your VR is pretty kick-ass, but
Apparently, this generation, I'm a Sony fanboy because I got the PS4 and I have like twice as many games for it as actually 3 times as many games for it than the Xbox.
were you a scrub and did you get the Vita?
That's just because it
No,
has
I didn't.
games.
I did
Oh,
not.
good. You're not an idiot who pisses money away.
I might buy a used Vita now just because I want Persona
Yeah.
4 Golden, but you know.
That's fair.
Anyway, so the Switch.
Yeah.
That looks pretty sweet. And like
Yeah.
I was saying, I've never been a huge fan of the new Nintendo stuff, mostly because the game selection doesn't really cater to my interests, which is fine. But this new system, like, I hadn't heard of it because I was very out of touch with everything. And then my buddy Trev was like, yo, have you heard of this Nintendo Switch? And I was like, no. And he sort of explained it to me. And by the end of the conversation, he and I were both very convinced that we wanted them, even though we definitely don't need them. And I don't even know what games are out, but just the hardware of it and the way it all works and how it's adaptable. And
I like the idea of being able to play Skyrim literally wherever I go.
Yeah.
Assuming
It's a
that
beautiful
happens.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like, arguably, I could probably do it
Oh,
on
I
my
know it's
Surface,
announced.
but
Well, it wasn't just announced. They actually did a thing about it at E3 this year and showed how the amiibos are going to play into it.
quick side note, Bethesda stopped re-releasing Skyrim a million different ways that are less
oh
than
my
awesome
God.
than the first time and
You
make
know
something
what?
rad.
Okay.
I heard the rumor
Actually,
that
I'm okay with them re-releasing. I'm
Yeah,
okay
I'll
with them re-releasing Skyrim a million times. Could we not try to sell DLC, sell mods?
yeah,
Oh,
that's,
yeah.
that's the
Hey,
big thing that
mods are
everyone's.
back, everyone. How's that
Yeah.
for
They're
a
pushing
thing?
it so hard. This is like
I
3 years in a
know.
row.
Yeah.
Oh, I missed this.
No one's gonna
Sorry.
do it.
Yeah,
Okay, so because some of our listeners may not be educated, and I certainly am not educated in this area, please fill us in.
So, a year or two ago, Bethesda tried to introduce paid mods.
Wait. Everybody take a drink.
Okay.
Okay.
Just did.
Because nerd smash.
Well,
All right, carry on.
Nerd Smash! So a year or two ago,
Name is Smash.
you're gonna hear some pouring, by the way. A year or two
Love it.
ago,
Oh yeah, there it is.
oh, that was satisfying.
Oh baby.
Bethesda announced this partnership with Valve where they were gonna open up paid mods to the Steam Marketplace. And if you know gamers, you know that this went horribly. And they basically had to take down the entire program within, I think, a couple days of announcing it because there was just so much backlash.
And not to mention, there were people literally just downloading mods from free sites, listing them as their own creations, and charging like 99 cents for it.
Oh yeah,
So
they're
hypothetically, if you were an idiot, you could get scammed super hard.
yeah,
Oh,
because
yeah.
people were just going to Skyrim
Nexus.
Nexus and downloading mods and then putting them up on the Steam Marketplace, which is if not illegal, really morally questionable, and B, possibly illegal. Which I know Bethesda was like, ugh, lawyers.
Yeah. They don't even want to put out the money for QA. They really don't want to put out the money for lawyers.
Yep.
They put out more money than Obsidian does for QA. Hey-oh! But anyway, so this E3, Bethesda announced, I think they call it their Creators Club, and it's basically just paid mods again. Where if you're a creator of mods, you can go on to the Bethesda Creators Club and put your mods up for some stupid Bethesda currency like Bethesda coins or something like that, and basically try and sell them.
What?
Yeah.
Bastards.
Microsoft dollars that went away 10 years ago.
Microsoft
Oh.
points.
Microsoft points.
How is 1,600 points equal to $10? Ah!
Because fuck you, that's how.
Actually, on that note, every
Give us
time
the
I
extra
turn on
buck.
True. Every time I turn on my Xbox, it never fails to remind me in the upper right-hand corner. It sort of flashes between gamer score and whatnot. It goes, "Hey, you have $0." I'm like, "Oh, thanks. I know, but
Yeah.
thanks for the reminder."
Yeah, I'm not giving you any more money.
Thanks for
Eat
reminding me.
all of my ass.
But yeah, that was part of Bethesda's Bethesda Land conference this E3. And speaking of that, I'm going to segue into Bethesda Land because I found Bethesda Land to be a very disappointing conference this year. Last year they had all of the big things. They had Fallout 4, they had that shitty Hearthstone ripoff that they were really pushing hard this year.
What was that called again?
Elder Scroll Legends
Ladies
or
and-
something like that.
Oh,
I'm just gonna take
yeah.
it.
Ladies and gentlemen, exactly how efficient that push went.
Yeah.
I know that
1 out of 4
that
people
Hearthstone
remembered what
is
the
not
fuck it was. I forgot it existed.
Hearthstone is doing popularity-wise about as well as Magic right now. It's on the decline. Gwent, however, I feel like I keep seeing like there are big like Hearthstone names that are hopping over to Gwent now, and I've been playing that relatively consistently, and like I'm having a lot of fun with it.
Now you say
I mean,
Magic's on the decline, but I mean it's still like the the biggest card game in
It is, but it's definitely on the decline because they're real shit at their R&D. Let's
That's
be
fair.
honest about that. Wizards of the
Actually,
Coast is real crap in its pants.
that is a comment that we should bring up later, assuming that
Yeah.
we remember it at all, because there was some news about that this week. But I still do want to talk about Bethesda Land, because I'm an opinionated jackass and I have opinions on it.
Well, that's why we're here.
We'll do it.
And an ass.
Yeah, I'm both of those things. Oh gosh, I hope my boss doesn't listen to this.
I kind of hope your boss does listen to this.
Well, no, I think honestly, it's something that should be talked about. Like we talk about it at my store, ways to help foster the community. Because while where Wizards of the Coast fails, individual stores can bring themselves up from it by doing good things, and that's. But that's an aside. That's an aside.
I agree completely, and I think the local gaming stores are the things that are fostering the Magic community. But I think right now we should focus on E3, and I do want to talk about Bethesda Land, the conference, because
We definitely should have a Magic podcast, though, because I'm sure the two of you could go on for hours about that.
Probably, especially because this week, I don't know if you're keeping up with it, Katie, but this week is Magic
I have been.
announcement week.
Yeah, no, I've been seeing all the Hour of Devastation stuff.
Here's a
Well,
Magic
it's not just
announcement.
Hour of Devastation. It's also like they had a comment specifically on their R&D department, and they had a big announcement. But I feel like that's something we should talk about after E3.
And yes, in light of Magic announcement week, here's a Magic announcement. I am not sober anymore. Let's go. E3.
Magic.
All right, I gotta
E3.
catch up.
Bethesda Land. This year they didn't actually have that much. They announced paid mods again at E3, which I'm sure went over so well. They announced
About as well as well
Skyrim-
with this podcast.
Yeah, they announced Skyrim VR, which that's kind of cool. There's now a full AAA RPG VR game that's available for anyone that has a VR system. And they announced Doom VFR, which is the VR version of Doom. So if you...
I'm sorry. The VR version of Doom?
Yeah, Doom, the new Doom.
You're telling me
Lose your
heaven is now a thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Bliss. That's awesome. Oh man, I know some
Yeah.
people who'd be into that.
That is pretty cool. It's not a big,
attached to
shattering
it.
announcement. They also announced a Morrowind expansion for Elder Scrolls Online. If you play Elder Scrolls Online, I'm sure that'll make you very happy, because Morrowind's pretty fucking awesome.
5-second side note, I did play ESO when it was launched, and I was an open beta tester as well, and a closed beta tester actually, but it was kind of a disappointment. I hate to say it.
Yeah.
It wasn't what I wanted it to
I
be.
agree. It's kind of better now. Like, I've gotten to play
Still
it.
kind of
Anyway.
disappointing.
It's not
Sorry,
great.
didn't mean to interrupt, but yeah.
Wouldn't
No
pay
problem.
for it.
Wouldn't pay for it. True
I
say.
got-
Carry on.
I got given it as a gift, so
Yeah, that's
Nice.
fair.
yeah.
Feel bad for Francois, though.
Oh, poor guy. Poor guy. We should play that more.
He hates it.
Okay, well, never mind then. We shouldn't play it more.
Y'all.
They announced. What else did they announce? They announced a Skyrim expansion for Elder Scrolls Legends. 'Cause
Fuck.
yeah.
God damn it.
they're really trying to push that.
Yeah.
Best of luck to him.
There's
it's
Skyrim
all the
VR
money
as
you get
well.
from card
Just
packs.
FYI for people who don't know that.
Yeah,
Pardon?
I mentioned that already. Katie, how drunk are you?
The Skyrim VR? Did you mention
Yeah, I
that?
did.
Yeah.
Oh.
That was the first thing on his list.
That was the first
Oh.
thing on my list. How drunk
Oh
are
well,
you?
clearly I just don't care about you enough to pay attention to what you're saying.
Oh, why'd you hurt me?
She just needed the
big
extra
three
person
things
here to
that
fill
they
space in the
announced.
podcast.
Well, thank you. The big three things that they announced this week at E3 were that there's going to be a new Dishonored 2 expansion called The Death of the Outsider, where you once again play as Dowd. Bless you.
Thank you.
Anyone who has played Dishonored, you know Dowd is the assassin that killed the Empress. And,
Of course.
Oh.
yeah, was also the protagonist of the two main expansions for the original Dishonored. And Dowd is back, and he wants to kill the Outsider. So that's going to be an expansion for Dishonored 2 soon, so all of you Dishonored fans, like me, we have that to look forward to, and I think he's going to fail horribly, but I think it's going to be a fun expansion nonetheless. They announced a new a new Wolfenstein game.
Yeah.
Which,
I heard.
Yeah.
I did not see anything about that.
Wolfenstein.
Can you elaborate?
From it.
I absolutely can. So, as you know, Wolfenstein has recently gone through another new reboot. It was called Wolfenstein: The New Order. And this one basically follows up from that, where you play as BJ Blazkowicz, and he's in the present-day Nazi-occupied America trying to basically unite the factions that are holding out against the Nazis. And
So, Donald Trump.
It's set in the 60s.
Yeah, it's set in the 60s.
I take it back.
It's a bit earlier than that. Although
Nixon?
Blazkowicz does have power armor, so, not quite the 60s.
It's a special version of the 60s. All right, carry on.
And it's basically him trying to unite the various resistance factions to fight against the Nazis. And it looks really cool. I know The New Order and The Old Blood were both very well received games. I actually haven't played them myself. I'm a little bit ashamed to mention. But I know they were both very well received. So I only have high hopes for this game. It's called The New Colossus.
The New Colossus. Right on.
Yeah.
We'll have to look for that. What's the release date on that?
I have no idea.
We don't know when it's coming out, but be sure to check.
We can find out.
Yeah, I hear someone frantically Googling. Yeah.
Typing.
While Brian is searching, can we have an out of 10 rating as to how intoxicated everybody is?
I'm going to go with probably 6.
I would
4.
admittedly say a 4. I'm a little disappointed in myself. I should be
Okay.
further along.
Okay, so...
I'm at like a hard 5.
I'm going to slam this back.
You go, girl. I believe in you.
Wolfenstein 2: The New Colossus releases on October 27th, 2017.
This year.
Yeah, this year. So
this
we're going to
fall.
see that really soon. And to be completely honest, it looked very finished when they showed it at E3. So
Nice.
It's
Not
pretty
a.
Do it.
That's actually a refreshing change. There have been so many games that have come out where it's like, are you serious? This is what you're launching? And then within a week, they have a giant update. Like GTA, for instance, GTA 5, when that came out.
oh yeah,
I was so disappointed. Oh my gosh.
good old day one updates, right?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Anyway,
Technically, day 0.
Yeah, day
True.
0 updates
True
are
say.
even worse.
right on.
So, all in all, Bethesda didn't have like a huge press conference this year, but they got one good game coming, so that's pretty cool. And they have a VR version of Skyrim. So anyone that has a VR console, you have a full game to play now, and a VR version of Doom. So like,
I still maintain that the VR version of Doom is just going to make people spew their goddamn guts out.
oh, probably
That's what I want from it, though.
How fast you whip around, there's nothing you can do.
it's true. Microsoft also had a press conference at E3. Surprise. And
Can you elaborate on that? Because I am ashamed to admit I'm not very in touch with E3 this year because I'm a loser. But Microsoft is
so
my jam sometimes.
Microsoft announced... Well, first they announced the Xbox One X, which is the big thing. Their new console.
Right.
And the One S and the One X are going to be compatible with each other. With the One X just will have like 4K resolution, all the extra goodies.
All of the games will be compatible?
That is what I've heard. Yes.
Sweet. I would take that deal.
I don't know where that leaves me as just the owner of a Xbone, the original Xbone, but I know if you have a 1S or a 1X, you should be fine. And the 1X apparently is going to be more powerful than most consumer grade computers. So that's really cool from what they've announced. Now we do have to take this with a grain of salt because it is Microsoft saying this, so they're releasing their own tech specs, and of course they're going to talk themselves up a little bit so that people buy it, right?
Of course.
Totally, that makes sense. But that's interesting. That, to my knowledge, is perhaps the first console that has been actively marketed as being above the performance specs of your average walk into a Best Buy, buy a PC.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It is really the first console that they've announced. Like, people are marketing as, this is going to be better than a regular, like, run-of-the-mill PC. Which
I think is cool, because there are a lot of people, I mean, several of my friends who have seen the kind of graphics and the kind of gameplay you can get out of a PC such as mine, but who only have a console just because they're either limited by budget or time, or they think it's cool, but they just don't care enough to do it for themselves. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Several of those kinds of people would really be into something like that, because it saves them the time and the money of trying to like figure out what parts they want and build it themselves, or get a friend to help them or whatever. And they can just go buy it off the shelf. I think that's going to be a really, really big hit for the Microsoft camp.
And I mean, if they do it right, I could see it doing very well, because right now they're marketing the Xbox, or right from the beginning at least, they've been marketing the Xbox One as basically an all-in-one media center. I know when it first launched, the Xbox One fell flat on that promise by a lot, because I had the Xbox One when it first came out, and I remember having to install a separate Blu-ray app just so I could watch my movies. I remember like the YouTube app crashing so badly I had to uninstall it, like, and start from scratch just to get it to work again. I remember all that stuff. But
I remember the Bluetooth app thing. That was as a quick aside. Oh my gosh, what a terrible design flaw that is. Here, let's build a console that has a Blu-ray built in. Okay, like it's physically in there, but you can't use it until you download something else. Like, what? No.
Was it free at least?
It is free.
Yeah, thank fuck. But I mean, there are a lot of things I love Microsoft for, but this is one of the things I don't love them for, is that I would have expected to have to pay for that, because
I'm going to be honest, they've been pretty thoroughly on my tits since Windows 8 came out.
Oh, they've been on my tits since Halo Master Chief Collection did not have working matchmaking.
True.
The game I literally bought my Xbox for, and it didn't fucking work.
Classic. I actually have a Windows phone right now, just as another aside. I realize I've been going on many side tangents this evening, but I have a Windows phone. It's actually really, really sick. Like, the app support's not super great, so if you're using a lot of games, or like you're into Snapchat and stuff like that, it's not for you. But if you're just kind of using it for working and getting stuff done, it's awesome. And if you travel a lot, incredible, because you can stream it to a TV, and it's pretty sick.
Oh, hype.
Nice.
Yeah.
No worries. We're drunk. I think asides are kind of expected at this point.
Yeah, no, I've just poured more, so I'm like on my way up to about 6, maybe a 7.
I got that warm feeling in my stomach, so...
Hold on, I gotta down some gin.
So the Xbox One was the big announcement for
Heard that bottle open.
This E3, but they also had a lot of other announcements. Forza 7, we've already mentioned. Forza 7 looks fucking fantastic. And, like, I'm not afraid to say that, because the Forza games so far have been really good.
I am super excited for Sony's announcement that I've been waiting for, because we saw this trailer about 2 years ago, I want to say. 2 years ago, for Detroit Become Human.
Yes.
Because I love Quantic Dream. I know they're more like interactive movies than they are video games, but oh my god, I'm so excited for this.
It's okay. I also
and really
like
great
Quantic
if you're a
Dream.
fan of the movie Dark City.
I also like Quantic Dream, except for the ending of Indigo Prophecy, which was a crock of shit. But
yeah.
So for those who aren't familiar, Katie, can you explain Detroit Become Human?
I admittedly don't know too much about it. I saw the trailers a while ago.
I got you, fam.
Okay, yeah, hit me up.
Here comes Steve.
Detroit Become Human is a cyberpunk game. It looks like a lot of Quantic Dream's other games, where basically it's kind of like a modernized point-and-click adventure game. If you've played Until Dawn, it's like that. It's probably what actually inspired Until Dawn, but Quantic Dream has a habit of making games like this, where it's basically an interactive movie. That's what they like to call it, where it's kind of like a point-and-click adventure game, but I guess it's like a Telltale game, but darker, kind of, and better made.
Like the the
just saying-
production values on it.
saying-
Well, no, yeah, but the production values on it are like they look like back when this
Yeah.
was on like early PlayStation 3, they looked like people.
Oh
It's
man, like
yeah,
no
yeah.
Xbox,
Crazy good.
like original Xbox with Indigo Prophecy. Indigo Prophecy was the shit until like
It was.
after the game.
Did you play Indigo Prophecy or did you play Fahrenheit?
I played Fahrenheit.
Okay, yeah, so did I.
Yeah.
Is there a difference other than
There is. Fahrenheit actually had Fahrenheit is the European version.
It had
and
a sex scene.
It has a sex scene in it, but it was censored in North America because, of course.
you know?
And
America's
then
a bunch of
it was
bitches.
released over here under the title Indigo Prophecy. But I played Fahrenheit. Fahrenheit was the first one that I played.
Yeah, I fucked up the sex scene or the thing leading up to the sex scene. So
I think
didn't
that's
get
the
it.
idea of a sex scene, isn't it?
No,
No.
but the idea is like you play a character who's basically wakes up after murdering a dude and doesn't know why he did and has you on this adventure to find out why. And you both play as him and as the investigators investigating the murder. So it's this really cool dichotomy between the two because you're essentially trying to catch yourself, and you're also trying to escape from yourself. Which
You're your own worst enemy.
exactly.
They also had.
Interesting.
It's
They,
really
oh,
cool.
Stevie, go on.
It's really cool. That's all I'm going to say because I realize I'm just going to go into a rant about the plot of Indigo Prophecy / Fahrenheit if I don't stop. So check it out. It's on Xbox Originals. It's really fun.
PlayStation 2 as well.
Yeah, just
Wow,
stop.
it came out on
Like
PS2?
the moment that you rescue the Indigo Child. I will say this. It's not really a spoiler because you have no idea what this means. You only know if you get to this point. The moment that you rescue the Indigo Child, just to stop playing. It gets really bad after that.
Is that before the bedroom scene?
That's after.
Okay.
Oh, you gotta get in the sex scene, bro. Well, if you're playing Indigo Prophecy, you won't get it because it's not in there. But
Yeah.
Wrecked.
Anyway, if we have to go back to broader strokes, I'd say the best way to describe Quantic Dream is if you take Telltale's stories and combine it with L.A. Noir's kind of game style and hyper
L.A. Noir.
and
I
you
would
get
agree
some
with
sort
that.
of
I forgot LA Noir.
amalgam.
That's okay. A lot of people forget LA Noir.
It had really good facial animation and was apparently the gaming equivalent of a sweatshop to design.
Oh, God. It was so bad Rockstar actually had to step in and go like, okay, no, you're not touching this anymore. We're taking over.
They lost their baby.
Yeah.
Aw.
No, like, to the management. They kept the production team, but they actually had to step in and go like, okay, you guys aren't allowed to touch this project anymore. We're taking over.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Detroit Become Human is basically, guys, Quantic Dreams, I just want to say, you have basically ripped off Deus Ex Human Revolution with this game. Straight to the city that it takes place in.
You heard it here first.
But it's about in the city of Detroit. There's like androids. It's a cyberpunk game set in the future where there's androids and like some of them aren't really happy with their state of life. And it looks like it's going to be another Indigo Prophecy / Fahrenheit type game where you're playing both the revolutionary android going like we want android rights and the cop android going like we have to keep this under control.
Right
Well, to be
on.
fair, they're ripping off quotation marks that you can't see me doing Deus Ex Human Revolution and putting it in Detroit because that's a historical thing. Detroit's well known historically in America for being a center of the automobile industry and the American dream and people working hard and actually producing things.
Detroit
And
Motor
also
City.
with a very high African American population in the 60s and 70s, so it was also a center of what's the term I'm looking for?
Counterculture.
Equal rights,
Oh yeah, the
civil
rights.
liberties movement, civil rights movement. So of course, when you're dealing with transhumanism, it's a really easy place to put it because you already have all that history of both the industry side and the civil rights side. History.
History.
I'm a dork.
Yeah. That's
Well, this is the Nerd Smash podcast. No one said we weren't going to learn anything. I love it. I love everything about it. Right on. Any other big titles from E3 that any of you are sort of eyeballing?
Battlefront 2.
True. Now, okay, so
now with single player.
True.
Still the inferior version, though.
I had the original Xbox, and Battlefront 2 on that was it on that one or the 360? Now I don't even remember.
It was Xbox.
Okay, see, that's how long it's been.
It's been that long since we had a Battlefront game.
A good Battlefront game.
I was playing Battlefront 2 on Steam until, 2 years ago when the server shut down?
Right? One of the best games ever released, in my opinion.
Last week. Ooh, how do I get around that?
I forget the exact instructions right now because I am drunk.
I will have to look that up because I love the space battles, and it's just I can't get the nerd boner fighting the AI because I just win so hard.
No, right? It's true. But the new Battlefront 2 looks really fun. And EA did the typical EA thing where they basically hired a bunch of pro players to come in on their stage and just play a match of it. And
I mean, that's better than having attractive 20-somethings who have no idea how to play a video game, where the parlance go up and say, "Hey, shoot that guy."
Attractive 20-something with no idea how to play a video game, reporting for duty.
I agree completely. It's better than having fake actors also pretend to play a video game. On that topic, let's talk about Anthem.
I knew he was leading up to this.
Okay, so before you rip multiple new orifices in this game, let me just say that graphically it looks fucking sweet.
I will agree with you there.
Okay, now you can rip it apart.
Sweet. BioWare, guys. Everyone ripped Ubisoft a new one when they did this 2 years ago at E3 with Siege and The Division. Why the fuck did you think hiring actors to pretend that they were playing a game was a good idea?
Also, The Division. What happened, dudes?
What happened? It looks so good, but no. Actually, I kind of like The Division. I'll admit that as a slight shame thing.
You're off the podcast.
Okay, bye.
Bye, all right, this has been the first and last episode with Steve. So get your merch now.
But Anthem, I just have to ask that. BioWare, what the hell were you thinking? Because everyone lambasted Ubisoft when they did this 2 years ago, where they had actors pretending they were playing the game and doing really shitty attempts at whatever corporate executives think that gamers sound like when they play multiplayer. They don't sound like that, by the way. They never sound like that.
No one called the other person a faggot. It can't be real gameplay.
It can't be real. That always happens.
It's obviously fake. The other
no racial slurs, not a gamer.
The other thing is, that was announced as Anthem's gameplay, exclusive gameplay trailer. I didn't see a single piece of gameplay I think is actually going to be in the final product of that game.
Really?
I think they were just clicking empty sticks?
The start where the person is walking to the city, that is obviously pre-rendered and scripted. That is not going to be in-game. I can basically guarantee you that. The latter part, you can't have characters able to fly anywhere because that would completely break any attempt at level design.
Or a logical progression.
Yeah. I can almost guarantee that the swimming will not be that smooth in the game, because swimming is always one of the worst parts of a game.
I mean, swimming is also one of the worst parts of real life. Mostly because I suck at it.
I would argue that I like swimming. But
I like it. I just suck at it. Unless if we're talking doggy paddle, I do a mean doggy paddle.
No, man.
I wish I hadn't failed my NLS.
Swimming in games is always kind of a clunky thing, to the point where I've drowned in GTA 5 because the swimming in GTA 5 is so bad.
Yeah.
Okay, but to GTA 5's credit, the swimming is beyond Olympian level.
Yeah, I know.
Oh yeah, no.
God damn, you're basically
you're a goddamn hero.
You're a jet ski at that point. But carry on.
Yeah, but trying to get up from underwater, you can drown real easy.
I don't know if it was ever properly explained that you're supposed to hit S and shift.
I'm
not sure it was properly explained that your controls are inverted when you're underwater.
It was not. It's
Why
never
did they do
explained
that
in the game. I don't know.
I get the planes because that's how
The joystick works.
actual like fly-by-wire controls work. But if you're swimming, up is up and down is down.
The other thing is, that section was so scripted, I can guarantee you that the storms that they introduce in that game will not actually be able to blow geometry around like they do in that trailer, because it would just be too intensive on the computer, or the console, or anything. And I can guarantee you...
And the quality assurance.
Yeah, and the quality assurance, because dear lord. And...
Just imagine how much you could break everything. Oh, hey, a 3-ton boulder landed on my quest objective.
Yeah. And there wasn't
Shit.
a UI. There was no user interface that I saw in that game. Which means, like, it's not going to look that way.
Unless they're going for straight immersion.
But
like,
it's not going to be a fun game. That's the problem.
Perhaps. Did you guys ever play Black Desert?
See, I saw the trailer for Black Desert, and that looks so good.
Okay, so I've got it. It's pretty sweet, but just the reason I bring it up is because you can turn off all of the user interface and just play the game in a fully immersive cinematic experience, and it's awesome. So maybe that's sort of what they were going for, but I haven't seen the thing, so I don't know.
I can see it, but it's going to be less effective with a shooter like that.
True. Because, I mean, aiming, unless you're looking down the sights or something, aiming without any kind of heads-up display is going to be
But it's a third-person shooter, and there were no sights.
Good lord.
Yeah, because Anthem's a third-person game. And also, I just want to say, Anthem, BioWare, you have just ripped off Destiny. You have made Destiny. That's all that you've done.
And Bungie's already on Destiny 2.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Are they really?
Yeah,
They are. It was also announced.
Coming out this fall, I think.
Yep, sure is. September.
Well, there you have it. If you got ripped off, didn't get ripped off enough by the first one, go ahead and buy the second one.
Yeah.
I might grab it since it's going to be on PC.
We're going to be the best clan in the game. I will say that right now.
Don't say the name.
I'm not going to say the name. But we will be the best clan in the game because I'm drunk and I see no other alternatives. I'm going to be right back, everyone. So, please continue to talk about E3 and I will rejoin you when I re-emerge.
You're breaking the seal?
I am breaking the seal.
Oh, man. That's it. That's the first one.
Cast that spell.
Can we have a score tally? Ding! 1 out of 4.
Yeah.
Brian, what are you looking forward to out of the E3 announcements?
I'm going to be honest. I didn't actually watch E3 as much as I meant to because things kept coming up. But so far, kind of Wolfenstein.
Love it. I love it.
Everything I've seen, Wolfenstein looks like, okay, I can get behind this. It's going to be fast. It's going to be old school. It's going to be looking really fucking good. And I'm going to get to shoot Nazis. I love shooting Nazis. I hate fascists.
Yeah,
political opinions as well, but
admittedly, I am also excited for Wolfenstein. I'll be the first to admit that I haven't played all of them, but the New World Order stuff's been pretty solid so far. So, on the note for Anthem, BioWare's always been pretty strong with its storytelling, and as much as I continuously shit all over BioWare all the time, I fucking love their games. And maybe Anthem will have a great story. I know it's one of those multiplayer ones, and those tend to not have terribly too in-depth story because they're focused on combat and other game mechanics and such. But I mean,
whether or not they have a single player mode.
Yeah, well, multiplayer could still have story, like World of Warcraft has story, right?
Yeah, but that's honestly mostly developed in either cinematics after raids as a player reward or in novels.
Yeah, I don't know. I never.
Most of that's in the novels.
as one who never did raids or admittedly really didn't read the novels, I don't know. I got a lot.
Actually, ratings.
I got a lot from actual gameplay. A lot of that game I played by myself, just kind of solo, running around doing quests, which is probably the most boring way to play World of Warcraft. But I'm a loser, so yeah, I love solo adventuring through that.
I found a vanilla server, and it is so much fun.
Oh yeah,
it's very different, but it's so much fun.
I have heard the new expansion from a dear friend is amazing.
Legion? Yeah, no, it's pretty solid.
I've heard. Yeah, you've been playing it, haven't you?
I stopped a little while ago because I got up to basically the second tier, the second raid level on normal,
Okay.
and then my guild kind of disintegrated.
Hmm.
So I was like, well, I don't feel like LFRing forever, and I've got near end game equipment. If I pick it up again, I'll pick it up again. Bye for now.
I'm back, by the way.
Ah, it was
Cool.
solid.
We had a small segue into World of Warcraft.
That makes sense if we're
Legion's
talking
fun.
about MMOs.
Yes, I was saying how I hoped that for Anthem, because it's a BioWare game, that they had some solid story to it.
They have said that apparently the entire game will be playable offline, and will have a single player story mode.
There's our answer.
There we go. Perfect.
That is coming from BioWare's Twitter, apparently, from what I've read. But I mean, who can tell if that's actually true or not?
Yeah.
If it's there, I might be persuaded to buy it. Oh, no,
Yeah.
I'd have to get Origin. That'd be another thing in the Origin bucket. Maybe I should actually download it.
Origin is actually not bad right now. It's pretty good.
I know, it's just... It still leaves
There was-
a bad taste in my mouth.
Well, here's
Oh,
the
there
thing.
was that whole big thing on Reddit that they had where they were removing people's stuff from their libraries, and
Oh, jeez.
it's apparently an actual thing that happened. Yeah, people are like, check your shit. And a few people were like, oh yeah, mine's fine. But then a couple people were like, holy shit, they removed some of my stuff.
What the dicks?
Yeah, I don't know if they ever
Yay.
solved that because that blew up into a big thing, but
Fucking EA. Once it becomes a big thing, they basically have to solve it.
Or hope for it to blow
EA.
over like a bunch of, like a pack of dicks.
EA. Challenge
everything is
everything.
assholes.
EA Sports. It's really lame. You know?
Can I just say, for
Wah.
EA this year, I think the best word to describe how EA doesn't understand things is innovative.
Uh,
Now, how would you
anyone play
define
an innovative drinking game, and were there any fatalities?
I would say innovative means something that no one has done before, or something that is advancing the industry in some way. EA
Okay, I agree with
I
that.
think of it as an evolution.
Yeah, what's EA's definition?
EA seems to think that innovative means putting a story mode into a sports game. That's innovative to EA.
I mean, to their credit, I don't think anyone's done that before.
They have.
Do you count?
NBA 2K17 Livin' the Dream, directed by, what's his name? Oh, that black director.
Do you count exports as sports? Because I can tell you, Tony Hawk has been doing this like with Activision since Thug. Which
Fair
for
point,
anyone that
fair
doesn't
point.
Understand?
Oh yeah,
doesn't know
Tony
what
Hawk's
Thug
Underground
is.
2.
No, Tony Hawk's Underground 1 had a story mode.
Well,
The 2K17.
there it is. You heard
I-
it here first.
Loved Tony Hawk's Underground 1.
It was a fun game. It was a really well
Oh.
made game.
What was
That
the
was
one
so good.
where I don't know if it was a Tony Hawk game, but it was a skateboard game where a player could kind of go slow-mo by clicking both sticks and then controlled each foot's movements individually using respectively the left and right sticks.
Oh, that was EA's Skate.
Spike
Is that what
Lee.
it was?
Yeah, that's what it was.
That one was actually pretty fucking fun.
It was fun, and EA's Skate was fun because it came in at a time when the Tony Hawk series by Activision was dying a slow, painful death as it deserved. And
Same.
Oh, Activision. You
yeah,
corpse molesters of a company.
R.I.P.
yeah, and EA came out with Skate, which was basically a return to form to the like original Tony Hawk games, where it was just like, yeah, go skateboard and like rake up combos. And,
You know,
and-
that thing that's fun.
yeah,
Boom.
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 Is there anything else from E3 that anybody wanted to touch on?
Microsoft announced a new game that looks basically functionally identical to Conquer.
Which game was that?
Huzzah.
It
Like
was-
Conker's Bad Fur Day?
No, just Conquer.
Damn it.
It's like a cartoony action platformer starring a orange fox wearing a blue vest, and I think it's called like Lucky's Charming Tales.
Lucky's
Well, if it doesn't have a
Charming
shit,
Tales.
I don't care.
Yes.
And
Incidentally,
that Lucky Charms, Lucky's Charming or seriously?
What after me, Lucky Charms?
Yeah, which
Ooh.
incidentally,
I can say that 'cause I'm
Potatoes.
Irish, I don't care.
sounds very similar to the original title for the Conquer game, which was Conquer's Nine Tails, or something like that.
Conquer's Nine Tails.
Yeah.
Never heard of it, but right on.
Anyway, yeah.
So that
it stars an orange fox with a blue cape, and he looks basically identical to Conquer when at first seen. To the point where I thought I was seeing a new Conquer game coming out. It's Super Lucky's Tale. My bad.
Okay. The games aren't related at all. It's just coincidence coincidence in finger quotes.
Yeah, they do not appear to be related in any way, shape, or form, except for the fact that Rare is owned by Microsoft and Super Lucky's Tale is on Xbox.
Interesting.
So they're
That
not
is-
gonna
On
get
the
the
topic
IP
of Rare,
enforcement case.
actually, I do want to point out that Rare's new pirate game was shown at E3, and it looks
I
pretty
saw
damn
that
fun.
one.
It looks,
What's that
Yeah,
one
the
called?
like open world pirate game.
Yep.
Oh, sold.
Yeah. It's done in a cartoonish style, and basically you can team up with 3 of your friends and go on high seas adventures as pirates.
Oh, yes,
If
please.
this replaces Sid Meier's Pirates in my heart, I'm gonna be so happy.
Yeah, it's a
Because I
first
played
person
way too much Sid
action
Meier's
game.
Pirates. They're
And
like
basically,
2000.
you and 3
5,
friends can
7.
man a ship and sail across the seas and search for treasure and raid other players' ships and stuff like that.
It's cool because you can't do that in real life.
Yeah, you get
Well, you
arrested for doing
can if you
that
go
in
to
real
Somalia.
life.
That's just gonna make the
True.
Somalia comment.
Brian's got a good point there. You can't
just
do
gotta
that
get to
in real life
Africa,
unless you're in
bring
Somalia.
a chicken so you can trade it for an AK.
Just try not to board a U.S. Navy ship and then get caught and arrested.
Yeah. Try not to get blown up by the Navy ships.
Try not
What
to
about
get a
that?
Tom Cruise movie
I'm
made
afraid I
after
gotta
your
break myself.
exploits.
Back in a minute.
Yeah.
Oh, that's 2 of 4. Ding ding. Yeah. What about so like pirates? What if we became pirates on like the Ottawa River or like the Grand River?
Oh, I
Like,
feel
give
like
me your canoe.
I feel like none of us would want to fall into the Grand unless we want to become like a 3-eyed fish.
Pretty much.
True.
On the topic of pirates, there was another pirate game announced this year at E3.
Yeah, the Assassin's Creed one.
Yeah, it's called Skull and Bones, and it is based off of the engine of Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. It's made by Ubisoft Singapore. And
now with more sea shanties.
Yes, with
I was just gonna say, I'll be happy with the game in its entirety if all it keeps from the Black Flag release is just the shanty singing. Because my brother would play that, and I'd be watching, and then I'd go do something else in the same room, and just hear all these pirates singing sea shanties in my living room, and it was awesome.
And basically the idea is like you can command a fleet of pirate ships and like go and raid merchant fleets and fight other players, and it looks really cool. Assuming that the gameplay is anything like the trailer, which we should not assume. Just saying.
True.
A fun little aside going back to the PlayStation Vita, like we had briefly mentioned before. I don't remember if we were recording at that point, but Undertale is coming to the PlayStation Vita. Steve, I know you were a big Undertale fan.
I still
In fact, I think you just bought me Undertale, so then I would play it. It was you or Francois, I don't remember.
Okay. I bought so many copies of Undertale that the Undertale website said, "Whoa, you've bought too many copies of Undertale. You're not allowed to buy any more." Because we
Oh, was that Humble Bundle?
Yeah, Humble Bundle's like, "You have bought too many copies of Undertale. You can't buy any more because we think you're scamming us." And I was like, "No, I just want more copies of Undertale."
Well, who doesn't want more copies of Undertale?
I did that with, because it was on sale once. Remember that? Steve, I'm pretty sure I sent you a copy. It was that God, I can't remember the name of it, Dungeon Quest or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looked like those old, like, remember, like, Battle.com?
Oh, like
those
Super
old,
Dungeon Defenders?
Yeah, no,
Okay.
but it was like
I thought you were gonna say yes.
it was like a tower defense. It had that, like, redheaded girl. Did I ever send you that one? Damn, now I have to buy another copy. I bought like 12 copies.
You may have.
Okay.
Yeah, I know. Undertale is coming to PlayStation Vita, and I think PlayStation 4.
Yeah,
I thought it was a PS4 too.
I thought so, but it basically they did their announcement trailer like a old serial cartoon or cartoon serial trailer, which was fantastic. And by the way, if you haven't played Undertale, you should play Undertale.
All right,
Yeah,
well,
it's
I haven't.
But
played it yet, so.
Okay, here's a preface. If you're gonna play Undertale, don't go into the fandom.
Don't go
Like
to the
anything, don't go into the fandom because 9 times out of 10 it's full of crazy people.
Like,
But
don't go
the
into
Under-
Supernatural
fandoms
fandom.
The Undertale one
I say that knowing
especially.
that I have
There
friends that are in the Supernatural fandom.
there
I'm
are
sorry, my
much
friends.
worse. There are much worse than the Supernatural. The Steven Universe fandom. Those
Oh,
people are
gosh.
nuts. But we'll get on the topic of fandoms another day because that is an actual topic that I have planned.
Oh,
Actually,
look at you.
I have a lot to
Random
say.
stuff. I love that.
I have a
can't
lot
handle
to
this.
say.
As one tiny aside, I love how the Steven Universe writers actually addressed the Steven Universe fandom in an episode that was very thinly veiled. It was
Ooh.
amazing.
Another fandom that you should probably not get involved in is the Brony fandom. Just don't do it.
Dude,
Don't do
just
it.
don't get involved into fandoms.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
Listener, children,
But we'll save that.
kids at home. You are defined by more than liking the things you like.
Yeah, it's true.
Like the shit you like and have a personality as well.
If
They're
anyone
not
doesn't
mutually
like
exclusive.
you just because of what you like, that person's
And they're
a
not
shitty
good
person.
people.
I agree with that. That's a sort of a departure from the topic of nerd stuff, but I love it. That's right.
Hey, that's
No, that's
super nerd stuff.
actually very much nerd stuff because a lot of people become nerds because they're not quite socially savvy. I mean, I definitely wasn't when I got into all this shit. I had to learn.
Fair point.
Super was
I
not.
take that. Good point. Good point.
Katie remembers those days. She's
For which?
when I was like younger and really not socially savvy.
We were all awkward and weird, but that's part of being young.
Yeah.
Can confirm.
I'm still awkward.
Yeah, oh
it's
yeah.
weird that you said were. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
get
fair.
it.
That was incorrect. I'm never growing out of it.
Is there anything else we want to touch on in this this episode here, kids?
Well, we still have two people who have not answered what was your favorite out of E3 2017. So, you want to hit us up, Cam?
Mine was Forza. Forza 7.
Ah,
Yeah.
full circle.
I don't think I've answered what my favorite one.
Yeah, well, I don't think you
I
have,
said
Steve.
No, I haven't. I just complain about stuff I didn't like.
That sounds. Oh, we need that. We need someone to just bitch about stuff. All right, so Steve, what are you looking forward
The
to out of
voice of
E3?
reason.
So what I'm looking forward to out of E3 is, and I say this without any hesitation, Metroid Prime 4. They announced Metroid Prime 4. Oh my gosh!
I was just about to mention that.
I'm so hyped. They
what?
didn't show anything except for a title, but Metroid Prime 4 is happening. Yes! I need it. I need it.
I'm sorry. I missed that. What?
Metroid Prime 4 is happening.
Like, for real?
Yeah, for real. Nintendo announced it for the Switch. Yeah.
So basically, what he's saying is we're all gonna go out on our next paycheck, buy a Switch.
Fuck.
This assumes that we make
kidding.
enough.
I'm gonna give it a
To go
few
buy a
paychecks,
Switch.
Shit.
'cause
Shit.
that-
Shit.
Yeah, I know, right?
Well, we have until Metroid Prime 4 comes out, apparently.
Yeah.
See, here's my plan. I'm going
That
to wait
might
till
be a
everyone else
year,
buys a
2,
Switch with Metroid
5.
Prime 4. And then I'm just going to go to their house.
Now, Metroid Prime-
And then Splatoon 2. And then we can all
Metroid
play
Prime 4
Splatoon
got
2 once Metroid Prime 4 comes out.
announced. But my actual favorite showing from E3 this year was probably Splatoon 2.
Splatoon 2? They just
Splatoon
spit
2.
in a jar. Oh, Splatoon.
Splatoon.
Splatoon 2 is so finished that they had a Splatoon 2 World Championship Invitational where they brought in, like,
Professional spitters.
yeah, pretty much, and had them play. And it looks super fun.
So, for those who aren't familiar, such as myself, can you explain a little bit about Splatoon?
I
Okay,
sure
so
can.
It is a third-person shooter where you are a squid and a kid, both now, and you try to cover as much of the map with your team's ink color as possible.
Correct. And basically the team at the end of the match that has the most ink covered wins
Ground
the
cover.
game. It's third-person shooter. You do get points by defeating or splatting
Opposing
the
players.
other players. And it's super fun. It was originally released for the Wii U, and now they're making Splatoon 2 for the Wii, or the Switch.
For the Switch.
Yeah.
Well, there it is.
And it was super fun.
Yeah.
It's basically baby's first third-person shooter, and it's surprisingly in-depth.
Yeah.
And just so jovial, it brings joy to flinty hearts.
Yep.
Good. That's something I could use.
I also just want to mention one thing, because we're on the topic of shooters. I just want to talk about the balls on Microsoft. Because they fucking did something this E3, and it's amazing. So, Microsoft announced a partnership with PlayerUnknown, the creator of PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. For those of you that don't know, it's basically a Hunger Game-like game, or if you're like me, a Battle Royale-like game, where you're dropped
the
into
survival game genre, basically the defining survival game.
Yeah, where you're dropped into an area and you have a bunch of other players, and the play space gradually thins down, and you have to kill everyone else and be the last man standing. They announced a partnership with them, and then not 5 minutes later did they announce they were making their own version of the game.
So hold on, let me get this straight because I've been drinking.
Working on that.
Yeah.
Let me get this straight. I've been drinking. So they announced a partnership with the company that made the original,
with
the dude.
Yeah, with the
dude. And then announced that they were doing their own version without him. Is that what you're implying?
Yes.
Oh.
I thought that the reason they brought him on was that he would be working on that project.
Yeah, I would assume he's like at least a consultant.
Because they brought him on announcing that they were just making, like, they were bringing PlayerUnknown's Battleground to Xbox One. And then not 5 minutes later, they announced Project Darwin, which is their own spin on that game. It's like what they did with the Gargantuan, which is their spin.
Okay.
Yeah, which is their spin.
That's actually pretty easy to understand, though.
Yeah.
If you look in the grand scheme of things, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds has been the shit on Twitch for, like, what, 3 months now?
Pretty much.
And it was gaining popularity steadily before that and having massive sales on Steam. So, of course, Microsoft would be like, oh, hey, the survival genre is apparently a thing now. We should make one of those. Let's get one of our Z teams to work on it.
Yep.
So, okay, we're making our version. And then, this thing's only on Steam. We can probably pay the guy a bucket of money, send over some consultants to help port it to Xbox, and then get a bucket of money for Xbox.
Well,
and
that's what they did with
a corporation that large, it's really easy to see how you could have those two decisions made by two different people, both to make the corporation more money.
No, it makes sense. I'm just saying, to do that at the press conference where you announce your partnership with the guy and then not 5 minutes later you announce your own project, that takes some balls.
It also means your copy editor needs to be fired.
Yes. Seeing as that was also one of the cringe moments of E3 this year, probably means the copy editor really needs to be fired.
I hope he's in a good union.
Brian, we haven't heard what your favorite from E3 this year was.
We did. You were just taking a piss.
Okay.
Get wrecked.
Shit.
That's why I said I haven't heard from two of you. And then we heard from two of you.
Okay.
Second-guess me, son.
Right on. Well,
Also, I mean, just hit a 6.
Hey-oh. Yeah, I'm way ahead of you.
From what I hear, Devolver Digital has some really cool stuff and going on right now, but I actually did not see their press conference, so I don't know.
I totally missed Devolver's stuff.
I'm not at all in the loop there.
I like them.
Squeenix has, from what I saw, basically was just pushing a bunch of JRPGs and their new Final Fantasy expansion for 14. Also,
Oh.
Final
It's gonna
Fantasy
swing.
15 Fishing VR. So yeah, you can fish for fish while epic battles take place in the background.
Okay, sounds like
see.
something I would do. All right. Yeah. Is there anything else anybody wants to touch on? Because we've gone for like about an hour
Well,
and a half.
I know Katie and I started talking Magic, so let's do about 15 minutes worth of talking on.
Let's do it. Let's
Magic
wrap it up with some magic.
Let's do it.
Because not only was it E3 this week, it was also Magic Announcement Week. It's still Magic Announcement Week.
Magic
That's
announcement.
terrible planning.
For those of you that aren't aware, Magic the Gathering is a card game. I have no idea how you're not aware of this, but Magic the Gathering, the card game, is a game produced by Wizards of the Coast, aka those guys that also own Dungeons and Dragons.
Also, Fifth Ed was sick.
And it's pretty much the
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
Yeah, it's pretty much the biggest card game in the world right now.
Yeah, pretty much.
I agree with that. Aside from
I
maybe
will-
go fish.
Well,
That doesn't
collectible card game.
Yeah, collectible, like trading card game.
Yeah.
It blows
Because
the doors off.
while I will acknowledge Pokemon, I will say a firm fuck you to Yu-Gi-Oh!
I was just gonna say that. It
You
blows the
heard
doors
that
off.
here on the
Nerd Smash
podcast. I almost
Okay,
said
let's-
official podcast.
Let's preface this
And-
with the Yu-Gi-Oh scene in Ottawa can go get fucked.
Yeah.
Do
Wherever
people
you
still
are,
play
if you have a
Vanguard?
cool Yu-Gi-Oh
I was
scene,
gonna say no one will
that's
stand
awesome.
up for Vanguard.
Good.
No one will.
Good. If they stand up for Vanguard, I'm gonna throat punch them.
in Ottawa at least. Go ahead and like what you like if you're somewhere else, but don't get into those scenes.
No, not if you play Vanguard.
I don't.
Stuff your own head in a toilet and flush.
Fucking no.
I know
Dude,
we said
the
if
people you
don't
hated
like
playing
you for
Vanguard-
what you like, they're bad people. But if you
I'm a bad person. If you play Vanguard, feel
Okay, I
bad.
can't argue with that. Katie, you're a horrible person. And that's why
You heard it here first.
if you like card fight Vanguard, you should probably stop. Just stop.
We're gesturing to all of you.
You can like Yu-Gi-Oh, you can like Pokemon, you can like Duel Masters, you can like whatever the hell you want. Just
I
don't
will
like
argue.
card fight Vanguard.
Dude, Duel Masters isn't a thing. Duel Masters is the in-show version of
No,
Yu-Gi-Oh.
No,
there was
Duel
a like,
Masters was a card game.
yeah.
It still is
Really?
in Japan. Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yep.
Learn something
Wow,
new
I
every
just
day.
I just got crushed.
Yeah, you're thinking
Wrecked.
Dungeon Dice Monsters, which became a thing.
You know, I actually kind of always wanted to play that.
It's
Like,
a
I thought it
thing
would be
now.
really cool.
Maybe, possibly. I don't know if it still is.
It's.
It
I
was
don't think
for a
it is
while.
anymore.
Yeah, I think it died a horrible death.
Well, I'm not willing to spend more than $10 on that, so.
So this week was Magic Announcement Week. First off, for anyone that misses corsets, don't worry, they're back.
Oh God.
Oh, good. I can
know.
break up my wardrobe
Corsets,
again.
like the things ladies put on to make their boobs look bigger and their waist look smaller, or core sets, as in
As in like Magic 2010.
build a
Yes.
deck.
The
Corsets-
ones that's just
doing
full
that?
of like reprints and stuff. Yeah.
So you're telling me I gotta go
corsets are
change?
They stopped doing that.
No,
They
work,
did.
I
They did
can.
for about 2
All right.
years. They said they were never doing another corset, and everyone knew they were fucking liars. And it turns out
Because
they were
that's a
fucking
stupid
liars.
fucking decision.
At least we had 2 years without corsets.
But that's terrible for people who want to get into the game.
Yes.
Not really.
Well, it kind of is, because that's the reason why they reversed it. A, it's easier for people to get into the game now, and B, it's easier for Wizards of the Coast to re-release cards that they need to re-release.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing why it's easy for people to get
That's
into the
fair.
game. Because one, you have enough cards to make a deck of any color. It's not going to be a good deck necessarily, but you can make a deck of any color, multiple colors. You can make a goddamn rainbow deck. Two, it comes with a rule book, like a little printout that says this is how you play the game.
Well,
That's important.
Any pre-built deck that you buy comes with that, to be fair. At this point, if you buy a pre-built deck, it comes with that book.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
But that infers that you have to decide on what color deck you want to have before you know what the game is.
That's fair.
And as someone who's not intimately familiar with the game, that sucks. Like, that's hard to figure out.
Yeah, no, if you
Yeah,
don't
no,
know
like-
what you want to play, like if you don't know the game and you just look at the thing and it's like sun and fire, you're like, what the fuck is this?
Those are both cool things. Too good. I'm gonna do those. You know.
Isn't there fire on the sun already?
What? Is it? Are those not one and the same? It's like ice and water. One's just cold. You know.
That's the thing. For a while, all the pre-built decks were being sold as like
I want a Steam Deck.
just by the. There wasn't really a starter set, to be fair, in Magic for a long while, which, when you look at it, is really intimidating because it just shows you the symbols for the 5 colors. So it's like skull and water, or fire and
skull,
sun,
water.
or
Tree.
Yeah, tree.
Tree.
Just tree.
Tree.
Which is really intimidating when you first get into it, I can acknowledge, because I remember doing that at one point where I'm like, what the fuck do I do?
To be honest, I actually bought my first pack of Magic cards when I was like 8, because an older kid in the neighborhood had some, and he showed one to me, and the art looked fucking amazing.
It does.
My best friend at the time, I was about 6 or 7. His dad was really involved in the gaming area up in Thunder Bay when I lived up there, and he had gotten me into it, and I had honestly this is a good segue sort of into learning how to play the games. But I had gone to my local magic shop, and the gentleman there, who I will give a shout out to, Jerry, you're a wonderful guy.
Oh, Jerry.
Thank you for teaching me how to play Magic when I was like 6 or 7. You're still the best. But yeah, I went there, and it made life so much easier because, you know, you're a dumb little kid. They'll explain everything to you. Even if you come in as a dumb 20-something, as a dumb 30, 40-something, you know, there's always someone there to explain things. What does tree mean? What does tree mean? They'll tell you what it means.
I mean,
So what you're saying to me and everyone else who doesn't know how to play is we should go to our local magic shop and find our Jer Bear and say, hey, dude, I don't know what's going on.
Jer Bear stare.
Just go to your local store and talk to someone, and they're going to be happy to help you. Like, I can tell you.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
at the
100%.
store I work at, whenever someone comes in and goes, this Magic thing looks cool, and I have no idea how to play it, we're like, hey, man, come here.
Let me teach you.
Yeah, let me teach you.
Come with me, and you'll see.
There it is. That's what I'm talking about.
Pure imagination.
So for those of you listening who play Magic, make it your goal this week to go try and tell someone who doesn't know how to play.
Yes.
And maybe that someone is me, because that would be cool.
And
Don't tell them to play standard. Don't do it, you evil, evil man.
Actually, when I got back in, one of the first things that one of our local players told me was to not play standard because it's too expensive.
Yeah.
But yeah.
You want to play EDH? Fine. You want to play Legacy? Fine. Don't play standard.
EDH is so fun. EDH is so fun.
EDH
Admittedly,
is so fun.
it's the best.
I'm working on 2 commander decks right now. But to get back to the point I was trying to make, they're bringing back core sets partly because it will make it easier for new players to get into it. And that's something that they announced. Another thing that they announced that they're doing for Magic Announcement Week is that they have made a whole new department of the R&D, and I'm amazed they didn't have this before, which is just Magic players playtesting their new sets.
That's it.
That's it.
You mean the basic concept of quality assurance?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Wizards of the Coast now has a quality assurance department for Magic.
Didn't?
Apparently
Well, they
not.
didn't do a good job doing it before, if they did.
Well, fuck me sideways.
To give
Come
a
here.
reference, in the past, 3 sets, they've banned 5 cards. The last time they did that was with Jace Mind Sculptor, who was Ravnica?
They banned another one.
They banned another one
it was yesterday?
Yeah. They banned Aetherworks Marvel because the Marvel deck was far too powerful because you could get an Oolong.
Well, I read that card's description, and it's every time... What was it?
In standard,
it was either you can't activate cards, and every time something goes to the graveyard, you get to reveal 3 cards from the top of your deck, pick the one you want, play it at no cost, and then throw the other cards at the bottom of your deck. What the shit?
Yeah, right? And that's why Aetherworks Marvel was one of the top decks in standard format since that card came out.
God damn it! Now I'm trying to find the thread to see if the thread's still on TG, and I keep seeing cat girl butts.
Man, just embrace the cat girl butts.
It's very distracting.
I don't even know what to say to that.
Embrace it.
Those fucking furries.
No, it's not furry. They still have skin. Just cat ears. I don't care who you are. If you're a cute girl and you put cat ears on, you get cuter.
I stand by my racial slur.
Also, yeah, Aetherworks Marvel got banned.
Yeah, but you wanna know what's even more interesting than the banning of Aetherworks Marvel?
What?
The spring 2018 set. Did you hear what it was?
Ixalan?
Return to Dominaria.
Ooh.
Yeah, fucking like
Nice.
Urza shit.
Yeah.
I am excited.
I feel a lore story coming on. Dish.
Yeah.
Oh man, well, we
do you
may
not
have
know
an announcement about
Do
that
not
at
know
some
the
point.
tale of Urza and Mishra?
I don't know the tale of Urza and Mishra, nor the tale of the Gear Wars.
The Gear War.
The Gear Wars was never really about the gears, Brian.
It was never really about the gears.
Okay, but seriously,
Calling
Put
me
it on.
gearhead is like calling an Asian person Asia face. I'm done now.
I can't wait until Rick and Morty season 3. Like, for real.
Man.
Gonna be the best season in the universe, Morty.
Yeah.
Morty.
97 years, Rick and Morty.
Love it.
Man.
Well, what do you say, kids? Anything else we want to cover in this episode?
I want to hear the story of what the hell Return to Dimro was or whatever.
Dominaria. That is it is a
Sure.
long tail. That one I feel like we should save.
Okay.
I do want to mention.
Do we
one
want
other
to
thing
do a
about
second
Magic.
recording of that and then...
I want to mention another thing about Magic announcement week actually, which is there are no more small sets being made for Magic. So if you play Magic, you'll remember that they used to do a thing where they did like one big set and then two small sets, or more recently one big set, one small set. They're not doing that anymore. They're just making big sets, and what
They're
that means,
just big. They're just big dicking it.
yeah, they're just big.
Does that
big
mean
sets.
they have more time in the product cycle to actually test shit?
Yes, partly, because they're only releasing 4 sets per year. One core set, which they don't have to do jack shit for. Just re-release old cards that need to be back in the format to make it balanced again.
Okay.
And they're doing 3 other sets, which they can work on as they need. And they have like 5 teams working on sets at any given time, so whatever.
Okay.
Like they have teams.
Quick side question.
Yes.
You know how in Standard you can't use any cards that were issued, what is it, more than 4 sets ago? So basically a year?
It's like it's 6 sets now, I think.
So a year and a half.
Yeah.
So having the core set re-release cards, do you have to buy the re-released card from that set? Or if you have a card from, say, 12 sets ago that was re-released that year, is that still valid?
It is probably that you have to buy the re-released set version, but that is something that
Sorry, what was the question?
if,
Okay, so say you have a card, and that card came out 3 years ago, but that card was recently put into a core set and re-released.
As long as the card has the same rules text, you can use an old one.
Okay.
Doesn't matter how old it is.
Katie knows
If
better
it's
than I do.
if it's
so
a
I'll
lightning
refer.
bolt from like way back and from like revised, as long as you know
the text is exactly the same, and
Yeah.
the cost is the same, and
everything
everything except the art.
the card and the mana cost and everything would be the same, but like if the rules text changes it slightly so it could mean something different, then it gets a little gray there.
Yeah.
But
So
but
you're
as long as it is
Switching the
as
map.
long as it's the same text and the same card, you're golden.
Okay.
So,
Go.
but that
Go to
that
a
implies that
GP
cards have been
and
changed, right?
Sorry,
So cards with the same names have been changed as the editions move on. This is coming from the outsider who knows nothing about the game.
I feel like it might have happened once or twice, but it doesn't happen.
Frequently.
Yeah.
So then basically any card is fair game.
Yes, pretty much.
Sweet.
And that's why you should play Legacy. So you can play whatever the fuck you want.
That's why you should play Commander, because Commander, fuck you.
Yeah,
It's
basically.
way more fun.
I like Go Fish.
Yo, we
Oh,
need to get,
and I'm
we need to
okay
get
at
some poker going.
Poker I'm good at. That one I can do.
You want to
One
know
of
what
these days-
taught me? You want to know how I learned how to play poker and blackjack?
Yes.
It's really sad. Okay,
Well,
so
now I really want to hear it. Hold on, let me
I
drink
think it
more.
was like early DS had a Harvest Moon game. One of the mini games that you could play to earn money was playing poker or blackjack against
that's
the
even
Harvest
worse.
Sprites. That is how I learned how to play poker and blackjack
You learned against a video game casino.
in Harvest Moon.
Man.
That's awesome.
Damn. Katie, you're weeb trash, and I love you.
Yeah, I
Hey,
know.
join us for our weep trash stuff. Oh my
yeah.
gosh, I'm drinking
Dude.
half a bottle of schnapps.
Oh,
Wow,
I'm
you're gonna have the worst hangover.
into this Jack Daniels.
Bottles
Woo.
of water
Half
the
sugar.
entire time I've been doing this.
Doesn't matter.
Hey.
That shit's half sugar. Your body is
Yeah.
not going to agree with it.
By
Yeah,
the way, pardon me, I'm gonna go
just
get
drink
more
paint
water.
thinner.
Basically,
Drink bleach.
you need to have
Yeah.
German schnapps. This American schnapps is bullshit.
I have a very lovely bottle of Crown Royal's Northern Harvest Rye. Crown Royal,
Ooh, I
please
heard that's
sponsor
really
us. Yeah, oh no, it's literally the smoothest thing I've ever drank.
Oh,
Great. Katie, do you want to start wrapping us up?
Yeah, sure. Thank you all for listening to our first recording. Hopefully, it wasn't a total snore sesh. That you actually found us interesting, because we're gonna keep doing it for a while, and hopefully we'll
get
smooth out
better.
hopefully we'll get better. We'll smooth the kinks as we go. Hopefully we'll get more entertaining if we weren't entertaining enough. Hopefully if we were entertaining enough, we will keep our entertaining consistency. I would
get
like
better. There's always room for
once again send my thanks to Brandon Macmillan of chillustration.deviantart.com.
B-Mac.
He did our lovely logo, which I am so in love with. When I saw it, I cried.
It's
Man, it
so
was
good.
perfect.
It's professional
we talked
level.
for 10 minutes about, what should our logo be? And everyone was like, yeah, that. And then he came in and it's like, yeah, that.
It is exactly what we wanted. Yeah, I know. It's so if you need any graphic work done, go to this guy, man. 10 out of 10. He's the best.
And again, we'll link his page in our little thingy here.
Yeah, that
Once
was
you remember the word.
chillustration.deviantart.com, and we will
You
provide
device.
a link.
B-Mac coming in
Thank
clutch.
you, listener.
If you
You the
didn't
real
catch
MVP.
the E3 streams, then you can always watch them on YouTube. I know that Rooster Teeth did streams of them, so you can probably catch those. I'm
Two
not
best friends did
paid
them as
by,
well.
Yeah, I'm not paid by Rooster Teeth, but I'm just gonna shill them anyway because I'm a huge fan.
We're dorks.
Oh, are
like
we
other
shilling
dorky stuff.
people?
Yeah, sure,
I would
why
like
not?
to. I would like to put in a quick shill for the official podcast. If you guys haven't listened to them and you enjoy people like Critical, it is his and his friends' podcasts. Official podcasters, if you're listening to this, please have me on your show. I love you. Oh my god.
Oh gosh, if anyone's listening to this from somewhere
Look,
official,
bro.
man, you guys are awesome. I don't care who you are, unless you're like Nazis, because then fuck you.
I think everyone who's
That's
listening
what I
is
said,
awesome.
an hour
I
ago.
thought you were going to say, I think everyone who's listening is a Nazi.
I mean, I wasn't going to say that, but now you've put it in my brain. No, I'm just kidding. Seriously, though, thanks everybody so much for listening.
Yeah,
Yeah, thanks so much. We'll probably keep doing this.
I got to
Probably.
train my liver
It was
up.
fun, so I want to do it again.
Yeah,
Definitely
yeah.
do it again.
So next week, join us, the Nerd Smash podcast, where we talk about tabletop games.
What are they? Who are they for?
Specifically.
What
because
are
all-
they? Who are they for? What kinds of ones are there? How many does Katie own that she doesn't have time to play?
And how many do I
The
not
answer is
understand?
more than one.
Yes.
Tune in next week for more.
5.
Tune in in the next couple weeks. I don't think we're doing this weekly because I think
Whenever it is. Tune in for the next one,
Die.
you
Can
bastards.
we not?